All right, so today we're diving deep into the world of home and business security, specifically in Conroe, Texas.
Interesting spot to focus on.
Yeah, focusing on a guy named Marshall Briggs and the company he founded called New Generation Home Pro Inc.
New Generation Home Pro Inc.
That's the one.
Okay.
And we've got some pretty cool material here that gives us a glimpse into not just what they do, but how they think about security. So
Nice.
our mission is to kind of unpack Briggs' approach, what sets his company apart and what all that could mean for someone like you listening in who might be thinking about upping their security game.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and we all know everyone's situation is different, right? For sure. So whether you're a homeowner, a business owner, or just, fascinated by the latest in security tech,
Mm.
hopefully we can shed some light on things here.
Yeah.
So to kick things off, where does a company like New Generation Home Pro Inc. even start?
Well, it seems like Marshall Briggs didn't just roll into this industry yesterday.
Yeah.
Over 13 years in security.
Ah.
That's a pretty good track record, I'd
Yeah.
say.
That's a solid foundation.
Yeah. And what I find really interesting is that he spent almost a decade of that as a technician,
Oh, wow.
actually getting his hands dirty with the systems.
Yeah.
That's got to give you a completely different perspective
Right.
than just, reading about it in a manual or something.
Yeah, it's one thing to run the business,
Right.
but to have that deep technical background,
Mhm.
to really know how these systems work
Absolutely.
day in and day out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to give you a different sense of what works and what doesn't.
Yeah, you're not just theorizing, you're actually seeing how things perform in the real world.
Right, exactly. And from what we understand, that experience really played a big role in why he decided to start his own company back in 2018.
Makes sense.
What was the thinking there?
Well, it looks like Briggs saw a need for more tailored security solutions and, crucially, more effective ones.
Okay.
I mean, having seen the limitations of existing offerings firsthand,
Right.
he probably had a pretty clear idea of what was missing from the market.
Yeah. He's like, I can do this better.
Exactly.
So that brings us to the heart of what New Generation Home Pro Inc. is all about.
Yeah,
They seem to have a very specific mission in mind.
they do. And their mission statement kind of says it all.
Right.
Redefining security excellence through innovative technology and unparalleled customer service.
Okay, let's unpack that a little.
Sure.
Innovative technology, that's a pretty clear signal that they're committed to staying up to date with the latest advancements,
Yeah,
which we'll see reflected in their offerings, I'm sure.
absolutely.
And then unparalleled customer service. That really highlights the client experience, which seems to be a big deal for them.
It's front and center in everything they do.
It's interesting that it's not just about the tech itself.
Mm-hmm.
The material really emphasizes their focus on creating solutions for homeowners and businesses specifically.
Right.
And one thing that jumped out at me was their approach to contracts, or rather the lack of them.
Oh, interesting.
That's not something you see every day in the security world, is it?
Not really. Most security companies love their long-term contracts.
Yeah.
But the fact that New Generation Home Pro Inc. generally avoids them,
Right.
well, it kind of shows a strong belief in the value they provide. Like,
Yeah.
they're not trying to lock customers in.
Right.
They're aiming to earn their continued business through good service and effective systems.
Makes sense.
And that emphasis on transparency and educating the client,
Yeah.
it all points to a very customer-centric approach.
So how does Marshall actually put this philosophy into action?
Right.
What's it like when they work with someone?
Well, it seems like Marshall's big on really understanding each client's unique situation.
Okay.
It goes beyond just looking at the property.
Yeah.
They consider your lifestyle, your budget, even the design of your home or business.
So it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of deal.
Not at all.
Right.
It's about crafting a solution that fits seamlessly into your life and really addresses your specific concerns.
Right, because someone living on a big rural property is going to have totally different needs than a business owner with a storefront downtown.
Exactly.
Right.
And the layout of the property itself dictates the best placement and type of security devices.
A cookie-cutter system could miss some crucial vulnerabilities.
Absolutely.
So by tailoring the approach,
Right.
they can really mitigate the specific risks a client faces.
Yeah, it's a much more proactive and effective way to handle security.
Now it seems like Marshall sees his role as being bigger than just providing a service.
Right.
There's the sense of community involvement, a bigger purpose.
It definitely comes through.
Mm-hmm.
He believes his work contributes to the well-being of the whole community.
Okay.
And he said that effective security isn't just about safeguarding your stuff.
Yeah.
It's also about peace of mind,
Right.
which helps reduce anxiety and empowers people.
And there's that great quote, fear can diminish one's power.
Powerful stuff.
It's like he's saying that by making people feel safer, he's enabling them to live more confidently, without that constant worry in the back of their minds.
Yeah, by addressing those basic safety concerns, people are free to focus on other things.
Right.
Their goals, their lives.
So let's dig into the practical side of things.
Okay.
The material makes it clear that cutting-edge technology is a huge part of New Generation Home Pro Inc.'s strategy.
It is. They're all about integrating the latest advancements.
Right.
Like there's strong emphasis on wireless connectivity
Okay.
that gives you more flexibility during installation and lets you manage and monitor things remotely, often through smartphone apps.
Which is what people expect these days.
Exactly.
And it's not just about convenience, is it?
No.
The fact that these systems don't always rely on traditional phone lines,
Right.
that seems like a big security advantage.
Absolutely. Phone lines can be tampered with or go down during an outage.
Right.
But systems that operate independently,
Yeah.
maybe using cellular networks or dedicated wireless protocols,
Okay.
they offer a more resilient connection.
So even if the power's out, your security system's still talking to the monitoring center.
Precisely.
And they mentioned having multiple alarms in different locations.
Yes,
That sounds like a really robust approach.
it is. It's all about layers of security.
And real-time verified emergency dispatch, that sounds crucial.
It's a game changer. In a real emergency, you need to know help is on the way fast.
Yeah.
And that the alarm won't be ignored as a false alarm.
Right, because those can be a problem.
They can lead to slower response times from emergency services.
Yeah.
And even fines in some cases.
So real-time verification means that when an alarm goes off
Right.
and it's confirmed as a genuine threat,
Exactly.
the right people are dispatched immediately.
No delay.
And having friendly customer service available just adds to that peace of mind.
It's an extra layer of reassurance.
Okay, so we've talked about the philosophy and the tech behind it all.
Yeah.
Let's get specific. What kind of products and systems does New Generation Home Pro Inc. actually offer?
Well, they've got a pretty comprehensive range of security solutions.
Okay.
The core of their alarm systems seems to be the Colsys 7-inch touchscreen and alarm panel.
Colsys.
Yeah, it's known for its PowerG long-range sensor capability.
Okay.
PowerG is a super reliable wireless communication technology
Mm-hmm.
designed for long distances,
Right.
which is great for bigger properties.
Makes sense.
The panel also has two-way voice communication,
Oh, wow.
so you can actually talk to the monitoring center during an alarm.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's smart home ready,
Okay.
so it can integrate with a bunch of other smart devices.
Very cool. And when it comes to detecting threats, they seem to have a sensor for everything.
Oh yeah, you name it, they got it.
Okay, like what?
Well, you've got your standard window and door sensors,
Right.
but they also have more specialized stuff like glass break sensors.
Okay.
Those could detect a break-in even if the window doesn't open.
That's smart.
And then there's garage door controllers and tilt sensors
All right.
to secure those often vulnerable entry points.
Makes sense.
They've got key fobs for convenience
Yeah.
and panic pendants for emergency situations.
Right.
And to cover other hazards, they offer flood sensors, temperature sensors,
Okay.
and, of course, doorbell options, both wired and wireless,
Yeah.
plus smoke detectors.
It's like a full suite of protection.
It's designed to be super comprehensive.
And of course, we got to talk about security cameras.
Of course.
They're essential these days.
Yeah, they're a key part of most setups.
So what kind of visual monitoring do they offer?
Well, they've got a variety of IP cameras
Okay.
to suit different needs and property layouts.
Like what?
Well, there are dome cameras, which are pretty discreet,
Okay.
eyeball turret cameras that
Yeah.
you can aim wherever you need,
Right.
bullet cameras, which are more obvious and act as a deterrent.
Right.
And for broader coverage with remote control, they have PTZ cameras.
PTZ.
Yeah, pan, tilt, zoom.
Oh, okay.
And to manage and record all that footage,
Yeah.
they have network video recorders
Mm.
or NVRs
NVRs.
with different capacities from 4 channels for smaller setups up to 64 channels for large commercial installations.
Wow. So they can handle pretty much anything.
Pretty much.
It's interesting to see how they've integrated home automation into their offerings.
Yeah,
It seems like security systems are going beyond just intrusion detection.
definitely. They're becoming more about convenience and safety combined.
Right. And they've got the QuickSet 916 smart lock for keyless entry,
Yeah.
the Alarm.com smart thermostat for remote temperature control,
Right.
doorbell cameras with two-way communication, garage door controllers, smart sockets, and even the Aero Pro's Wi-Fi mesh system.
Wow, that's a lot.
It's a whole smart home ecosystem.
It's about creating a truly smart and secure environment.
Okay, so all this tech needs to be installed and supported properly.
For sure.
What do we know about their installation process and the support they provide?
Well, they emphasize a really thorough installation process,
Okay.
starting with a complete inspection of the property,
Right.
which makes sense considering their focus on customized solutions.
Yeah, you got to understand the layout and the vulnerabilities
Absolutely.
before you start placing devices.
It's all part of that tailored approach.
Now, they don't seem to advertise 24/7 customer service.
Right.
At least not in the sense of having someone on call for any question at any time.
Yeah.
But they do have 24/7 central station monitoring.
Which is the most important part.
Right, that ensures a quick response from emergency services if an alarm goes off.
Exactly.
So for non-emergency questions, you probably contact them during business hours.
That seems to be the case.
But that 24/7 monitoring, that's the core function of a security system.
It is.
So if an alarm goes off in the middle of the night, someone's always there to dispatch help.
Always.
Now, we've talked a lot about residential security,
Yeah,
but New Generation Home Pro Inc. also works with businesses.
that's right.
So how do they adapt their approach for commercial clients?
The core principles are the same.
Okay.
Customized solutions and effective technology.
Right.
But for businesses, the focus shifts to the specific challenges they face.
Makes sense.
So they do detailed inspections
Okay.
to find vulnerabilities in a commercial setting.
Like what kind of businesses do they work with?
Retail stores,
Yeah.
restaurants, offices, you name it.
Okay.
The goal is to give business owners systems that are easy to use and control so they can protect their property, their employees, and their assets.
And minimize disruptions to their business.
Exactly.
So a small business owner in Conroe could expect that same personalized attention
Absolutely.
and a system designed to address their specific risks.
Yeah, a retail store might need cameras to deter shoplifting,
Right.
while an office might prioritize access control.
And their assessment process helps them figure that out.
It does.
Cost is always a factor for both homeowners and businesses.
Of course.
And they seem to emphasize accessibility and trust when it comes to their pricing.
Right.
Marshall's committed to offering solutions that are both high quality and affordable.
Okay, that's a key part of building trust with the community.
And their connections within the community seem to back that up.
Yeah, those partnerships with other local businesses,
Right.
like Mosquito Hunters, Espiri Services, Gilly Real Estate Team, and Clean Sweep Office Cleaning.
Wow, that's quite a list.
It shows they're well integrated into the local network.
Yeah. Other reputable businesses trust and recommend them.
It definitely adds to their credibility.
So looking at the big picture, what makes Marshall Briggs and New Generation Home Pro Inc. stand out in a crowded security industry?
Well, a few things come to mind.
Okay.
First, his background as a technician.
Right.
That gives him a level of practical knowledge you don't always see in company leaders.
Makes sense.
Then there's his focus on custom solutions,
Yeah.
not just pushing generic packages,
Right.
and his commitment to cutting-edge technology.
Like advanced wireless and AI,
Yeah.
keeping them ahead of the curve.
And maybe most importantly, his dedication to community engagement,
Right.
building those long-term relationships.
So it's not just about selling a system.
Now,
It's about building a sense of security in the community.
that's a great way to put it.
So what's next for New Generation Home Pro Inc.? Where are they headed?
Well, it looks like they're all about growth and innovation,
Okay.
expanding into smart home automation and even more advanced surveillance.
Interesting.
They're talking about seamless, remote access, intelligent motion detection, real-time alerts, and AI-enhanced monitoring.
Wow.
Maybe even things like facial recognition and predictive analytics down the line.
So they're really looking ahead.
They are.
But even with all this tech,
Right.
it seems like that personal touch is still a priority.
It's a core value. From the initial consultation to ongoing support, they're all about the personalized experience.
They've been recognized as a top-rated installer,
Yeah.
and Marshall a known expert on security best practices.
He's a real thought leader.
So what are their plans for the future?
Well, they want to expand their coverage area,
Okay.
keep improving their AI capabilities, form more partnerships in the smart home world,
Right.
and keep educating the community.
It sounds like they're going beyond just being a security provider. They want to be a trusted partner in creating safer environments for everyone.
That's the goal.
Well, this has been a really fascinating look at Marshall Briggs and New Generation Home Pro Inc.
It has.
It's clear they're doing a lot more than just installing alarms and cameras.
Absolutely.
For me, the key takeaways are their commitment to personalized solutions.
Yeah.
their embrace of cutting-edge technology,
Mm-hmm.
their dedication to the community,
Right.
and their focus on making high-quality security accessible to everyone. So thinking about Marshall Briggs's philosophy,
Yeah.
what aspects of your own sense of safety and control resonate with his approach?
That's a good question.
And with all these advancements in security tech,
Right.
what future innovations are you most excited about?
I'm really interested in the potential of AI
Well,
to make our homes and businesses even more secure.
it's definitely something to think about.
It is.
Thanks for joining me on this deep dive.
My pleasure.